Hi, I'm Chloe, and I'm here with my friend Lynda. And today we want to talk about what it means to be a highly sensitive person and an empath, and basically how you can not only cope with these attributes, but how you can really thrive as this type of person. And I was recently at Lynda's Hala event, which was wonderful. And we wanted to just create a more concise video with some tips for those of you who are highly sensitive, or even if you're a person that copes with a lot of stress. These tips are wonderful for your self-care as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. I imagine that highly sensitive people and empaths, like they're the are you saying they're the same or a little different?
It's a little bit different. A highly sensitive person is defined in Elaine Aron's book as a person who has a highly stimulated nervous system. So just to dispel the myths about that, basically a lot of people think of a highly sensitive person as someone who's emotional or too reactive or just too sensitive. But actually it's not so much, I mean, it is kind of like a personality trait because we become that way more and more as we learn who we are. But it's really more about your nervous system. So you can't actually become a different person and just go, okay, well, everyone says I'm too sensitive, so now I'm just going to shut everything off and pretend to not be sensitive. It doesn't work like that. No. According to Elaine Aron, who again wrote the book about highly sensitive people, she explains that it has to do with our nervous systems. And so some of the traits of a highly sensitive person might be that you are very sensitive to things like strong smells, loud noises, maybe being in big crowds of people, going out to the supermarket even can cause anxiety. And this is, I feel, also one of the reasons why some people struggle with anxiety a little bit more than others, because they're also highly sensitive people. And there's just so much stimulus that the nervous system becomes overly active. Okay. And whereas an empath is a person who's highly sensitive specifically to other people's emotions. So an empath is a person who picks up on other people's emotions and energies very easily. However, because they're both sensitivities, a lot of people who are empaths are also highly sensitive people, and vice versa. So they do tend to kind of be interchangeable a lot of the times, because most of my clients who come to me, I end up finding out that they have different sensitivities, and usually they do tend to go together.
Yeah, you end up feeling, really anxious, really drained, and it's really hard on people when they don't understand what it is. What can you do to what can someone do to protect themselves?
Well, first of all, I think the most important thing is to understand that we are different. I'm a highly sensitive person and an empath as well, and I'm highly intuitive. And it's important to know that, to recognize that we are different, and we comprise about 20% of the population, so it's quite a few of us. And it's okay. It's okay that we're a little more sensitive. It's okay that we have more sensitivities and more awareness to things in our environment. So first of all, I think the first step is just not judging ourselves, because there's been a lot of judgment, like when I was growing up, I wished that I'd had someone, like maybe a highly sensitive adult, say to me, it's okay that you're a little more sensitive, or that you have a lot of emotions. It's okay. And here's how you can better cope with it. I wish I had someone like that, because I had a lot of people scold me and say, you're too sensitive. Or if I was crying, they'd say, stop disturbing the class, or what have you. So that's important, to just realize that it's okay, and to respect ourselves, and to not try to fit in with the other 80% of the population. If we are at work or with family or in different social situations, which is where oftentimes anxiety can come up because of sensitivities, instead of trying to pretend like we're just like everybody else, which makes us feel awful a lot of the times, I think it's better to recognize that we need better coping mechanisms in order to deal with it.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the first steps, and then after that, it's self-care. So because our nervous systems feel like they're kind of under attack a lot of the times, especially for highly, highly sensitive people. And it is on a spectrum. So, we're all sensitive. It's not like we're robots or something. Some of us are a little sensitive. Some of us are, I'm kind of more on the mid-range perhaps. And then I know some people who are highly sensitive, where they're highly sensitive to foods, to smells, to toxins, to groups.
And they can't manage to go to a group. Anything.
Exactly. So some people are extremely highly sensitive, and again, that's okay. It's just we have a different nervous system, and we have to cope with it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So some of the self-care things that I've been doing for years that have really helped me are things like doing guided meditation. This is really, really key. Now, one of the myths about meditation is that you have to know how to meditate. You absolutely don't have to know anything about meditation. If you just listen to a guided meditation, and I'd highly recommend something for clearing the chakras. Listen to a guided meditation for clearing the chakras, because if you're highly sensitive and or empathic, what'll happen is that you absorb a lot of energy and a lot of things from other people and situations.
And
it can get to a point,
yours.
Exactly. And it can get to a point where you're quite toxic or even quite sick, because you've got so much of other people's stuff in your aura and in your body.
It can drain you.
And you feel drained, exactly, because
drained,
you don't have your own, you're not in touch with your own energy resources, and you're not in touch with your own emotions and what's going on with your own body, because you feel like you're being bombarded all the time. So when you do the guided meditation, just listen to like a chakra clearing guided meditation or a guided meditation for relaxation to start out with. Or if you have anxiety, listen to something specifically for that. I can give some pointers if any of you want to contact me directly on some really great ones that I use, and they just really help you to relax. This is key, because if you have a highly stimulated nervous system, what you want is to calm the nervous system. So you need to start doing more things in your daily life to calm yourself down, okay? Now, in terms of calming the nervous system as well, it's really important to recognize that things like caffeine and sugar and even smoking can stimulate the nervous system quite a bit. So what we want to do is cut those things out as much as possible. I know it's difficult because a lot of us have addictions to those things, and they are, especially sugar, is highly addictive.
I love sugar.
It's great. I love sweets. But, now what I do is I use liquid stevia, and it tastes a lot better than the powdered stevia. I just take a little bit of the liquid stevia. It doesn't have that strong aftertaste, and it has no calories. It has no none of the sugar properties, because it's actually a herb. And then what I do is I add that to like my homemade energy balls, or to my tea or cocoa or whatever if I want something sweet. And then that way I get the sweet taste without having my blood sugar going up and down like this. Because that, again, stresses your body, overstimulates you, and then you get overstimulated by the sugar really quickly, and then your blood sugar plummets, and then you get tired and drained. So what we want to do is be on a nice even keel. You have to, if you're highly sensitive, you have to be very kind and gentle to yourself all the time. It's really important, because what a lot of people don't understand is that we're living a different reality than the other 80% of people.
That's a very good way
Everything is more intense for us. And, you may have tried to explain this to your friends and family, and you try and tell them, look, things are just more intense for me. And they're like, yeah, whatever. You're just a drama queen, or you're too emotional, or whatever. But it really is different. It's a different experience.
And I believe that, and that's why you're doing this video, so that to educate people.
And that's why I'm so passionate about it. Excuse me. Because I never had someone teach me this stuff.
Yeah.
But I have been fortunate enough to have other highly sensitive healers work with me, and other psychics work with me who are also highly sensitive as well.
Yeah.
And that's helped me to learn these things. So cutting those things out of your diet is super important, because again, it's a body issue, it's a nervous system issue. And then bringing in things to your body which actually calm the nervous system. So instead of having things like coffee with lots of sugar in it, try something totally opposite, like a yarrow tea, yarrow herb, holy basil herb tea. Mint tea is stimulating, so it'll wake you up if you need that wake up in the morning, or a little bit of green tea. But it's not as hard on your nervous system as something like coffee.
Yeah.
You can even, if you love the taste of coffee, you can try something called a kava, which is a natural. It's not actually not made with coffee or caffeine or anything like that. It's made with like chicory and roasted beets and stuff, but it tastes like coffee and it's really good. I know it sounds weird, but it's actually really good. So things like that, you know, and make sure that, you know, you basic self-care, like you get enough rest. And again, if you're in a cycle of having caffeine and sugar, then you're going to have a hard time going to sleep. And if you have a hard time going to sleep, then and you're not getting enough rest, then you're going to want to have the caffeine in the morning, right? So it's a vicious cycle. So try to get off, wean yourself off the caffeine and sugar so that you can get a really good night's sleep. Listen to the guided meditation in the morning and in the evening before you go to bed.
Salt baths.
Exactly, that was what I was just going to mention.
Yeah.
Epsom salts baths are super, super important if you're highly sensitive or empathic, because again, if you're highly sensitive, you're basically absorbing other people's energy and toxins from the environment like a sponge. So in order to cleanse your energies, you want to put at least a cup of Epsom salts, maybe put some sea salts. You can also add things like lavender essential oil. Again, lavender is for peace and harmony, so it helps to relax the nervous system.
That will help you sleep too.
And it will help you sleep, exactly. So we want to start thinking about how can we calm everything down and, you know, get things in a chill space so that we can better cope with the daily stresses. So if you have a very stressful job right now and you're highly sensitive or empathic, I would suggest doing an Epsom salts bath every single night. I know that sounds like a lot, but you will feel like a new person after you do that Epsom salts bath, especially if you say a little prayer or just have the intention that it will cleanse the negative energies from your body.
Okay. And so you're highly sensitive person and you're empath. There is a reason why you're like that. Likely, you have gifts that you're going to be developing now or in the future, and you could. What type of gifts would they have?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but before we get into that, I just wanted to mention also it's really important to understand that we're not just sensitive to the negative things in our environment, we're also sensitive to the positive things in our environment too. So if you work on getting your home space as positive as you possibly can, get rid of the dirt, the clutter, anything from ex-partners or ex-friends or family members that no longer, whatever that stuff is that no longer serves you, that doesn't have good energy, just get that out of your space and create a really sacred space in your home that's very calming and perfect for you, that's got nice colors, that's very healing, because the wonderful thing is that we're sensitive to the positive things. So when we have positive things, it's like we're on cloud nine. We're like, yay! It's like we're on a natural high, right?
Yeah, it feeds you.
Yeah, so we want to have a really lovely home space as much as possible. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to have a lot of money. You just have to have some creativity. And I offer some services where I can help you with that too, if that's something you're interested in. You can cleanse the energy of your space. You can smudge it out with sage or what have you as well. And also go outside in nature as much as possible. Have a walk by the ocean, go into the forest, Have some plants around you because they also help to absorb negative energies as well. Have some crystals around you as well. And then make sure that you have positive, loving, supportive people who are gentle towards you. This is key, because before I really recognized my high sensitivities, I allowed myself to be in the presence of people who were aggressive or not gentle, let's just say, to put it nicely. And this was very damaging for me. And for a highly sensitive person, having your heart broken or having negative or abusive people around you can feel really extreme. And I feel like this is part of the reason why people can get deeply depressed and suffer from severe anxiety as well, because trauma for a highly sensitive person is that much more intense as well. So we want to try and gradually kind of get those negative people and situations out of our life.
You don't need it.
Gently and gradually and safely, and then bring in more people in your life, your friends, and coworkers and so on. Bring those people in who are understanding and appreciative of your unique qualities, whoever you might be. That's really important, because for someone who's highly sensitive, we also really enjoy the positive connections that we have, and we get so much out of it. So the more positive things that you bring into your life, the more you'll find that you have an even balance as well with all of your sensitivities. But yes, to answer your question, so highly sensitive and empathic people tend to also be highly intuitive. And so a lot of times there's some psychic or intuitive gifts that are associated with that. Because, again, our nervous systems are more stimulated, so we're not only more sensitive to the five senses, but also to other aspects as well. So some people may see different beings or colors or light or visions or
dreams,
unusual things. Yeah, you can have psychic messages come through dreams. And so there's
preparing you for the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there tends to be just a really powerful connection there with the spiritual and the subconscious, because again, it's like you feel very alive. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about being highly sensitive, is that you are so aware of the different layers of existence. You feel, even when I was a kid, I felt that I could see people's feelings and their intentions. I could see what was going to happen, and it was really overwhelming at the time. But now it's more something that I can use as a tool, as a healer, because I'm a certified psychic. I learned from a psychic basically how to do many different types of readings. I'm also a Reiki healer, and a teacher and a life coach. So I can use my sensitivities as a gift to help others, because I can understand others a little more easily maybe than the average person.
And a little more of a mentor to people who are really sensitive.
Exactly, yeah. So if you're highly sensitive, I would highly recommend that you develop your intuitive gifts. And also, even if you don't go down the path of becoming a psychic or what have you, just work on trusting your intuition. So to do this, just go more into your heart rather than over-analyzing things in your head, because if you're highly sensitive, you're probably also very highly intelligent and mentally active as well, because again, everything is very stimulated in the system when you have these kinds of traits. So try to go more into your heart and into your gut, and trust your gut. If you get a weird feeling in your gut and you feel like something's wrong, you get out of there. Trust yourself, because I've gotten myself in situations where I didn't trust my intuition.
So many times.
And I've gotten myself in dangerous situations, and I now have learned the hard way that it's absolutely imperative to trust my intuition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
that's with everything, not just danger in the environment. That's in relationships. That's even, don't forget your gloves. You're thinking, just there's just that little pull to make sure you answer that phone call, or it's there. Listen to your gut.
Yeah. And if you do feel like there's any danger, or if you feel fear, don't let it be. Don't beat yourself up about that. You might actually be getting a message to protect yourself or to protect someone else. Or, if I'm downtown, I often get the message to protect my car. So one thing you can do, because you asked about protection earlier, is you can actually visualize blue light around a person that you're worried about. If you suddenly start thinking about someone, it could be an intuitive message that person might need a little support. So surround them in protective blue light, and just say and say some good intentions towards them, or a little prayer towards them, or what have you, just to make sure they're all right. And do this for yourself when you go outside in public and you know that you're going to be around a big crowd and you're not looking forward to it. Surround yourself with blue light and imagine that your aura, which is the energy field around us, kind of like an egg-shaped energy field. Just imagine the outer edges of that hardened and like a mirror, so that when people are around you, if they send any energy towards you that you don't like, it just reflects back at them and it doesn't penetrate past here. So you have kind of a wall.
Yeah, right? Your imagination is real.
Oh, absolutely. So visualization is really powerful, because the way it works is it starts with our spirit, and then it goes down and connects with the emotions, the mind, and the body. So when we visualize a blue light, for example, we're actually setting a very strong intention of protection towards ourselves or towards others. And it actually works.
It works.
Because, if you think about, the law of attraction, like attracts like, when you send something positive and a specific intention towards something, then you're much more likely to manifest that. Whereas if you choose to give in to your anxiety and your worry, then the negative aspects are more likely to be brought out, because you're creating that type of situation with those thoughts.
You're more powerful than you think.
Yeah. The other really important thing in terms of protection and a daily practice is to protect yourself from your own negative thoughts and the negative thoughts of others as well. So one little tool that I use, that I've been using for years, is if I get a negative thought or energy coming in, what I do is I say cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete. I actually learned this from Doreen Virtue, and it's a wonderful technique. It has helped me to get rid of a lot of negative situations. And what it does is it actually creates a block between you and the negative thought or situation, because we are not our thoughts, okay? Our thoughts are just programs, like a computer program running. There's all kinds of junk in there that's not useful or helpful. So if we get rid of that by saying cancel, clear, delete, then it doesn't actually go into our energy field, and it doesn't. We don't allow it to affect us or to create a negative situation in our lives.
Imagine sending an email out and you go, I don't really want to send that, cancel. But you can't. You can't cancel it with an email, but you can do it this way.
With your thoughts, you're basically nipping it in the bud. So you're not getting those negative energies out there in the world so that you can attract more negative stuff in your life. You're cutting it off so that
before you send it out.
Yeah, before you create a negative situation. Because what people don't realize is that we are very magical, very powerful beings, and we can create our realities with our thoughts.
I believe that 100%.
Yeah, and if we can better control our thoughts, then we can manifest what we want in our lives. It's a subconscious programming tool. It's different if it's negative feelings, because those we actually need to work through and heal. We can't just cancel, clear, delete our negative feelings.
And you shouldn't have to. You need to work through them. Yeah.
Feelings are important, and this is another thing I want to say to all the empathic, deep feeling people out there too, is that just because you're highly emotional, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It actually means that you're very strong. the more emotional energy you have, it means that you have a very powerful spiritual energy, because emotional energy is actually the direct expression of your spiritual energy. And when I say, spiritual, I'm not talking about anything religious or anything like that. I just mean our essence, the part of us that is infinite, the part of us that's, our deepest aspect of ourselves. That your emotions are your way, your spirit's way of communicating to you what's going on. So it's very important to listen to your emotions. If you have negative emotions coming up, there's a good chance that there's something or someone in your life that's causing a blockage or a challenge, or something basically needs to be changed if negative emotions are coming up. But sometimes it's just a way of healing. Sometimes we just need those emotions to come through, to cry or what have you, or get angry. We need those emotions to be expressed in order for us to be clear and healed.
Don't bottle them up.
If you bottle them up, basically what bottled up emotions does is creates blockages in the chakras, so the energy centers of the body, which then creates disease. So I do emotional healing. I do emotional freedom technique healing and Reiki healing.
Powerful.
And what that does is it helps you to express your emotions fully and clear any negative emotions associated with past events or trauma, so that you can be permanently clear of those negative emotions associated with those things or people. And then you can basically have more space in your life to have more positive emotions coming in. And so that's why it's really important, if you're highly sensitive or empathic, to cleanse the negative situations and feelings as much as you can, to work on those. It's called shadow work, in my field as a healer, where we work through those things. And I think it's just as important as the light work, which is bringing in the healing, light energies.
Yeah, the more of the shadow work, the shadow goes, the light comes in to fill you up.
Exactly. And if you've got a lot of trauma and shadow frequencies in your body and in your aura, again, the energy around you, then it's really difficult to receive in blessings and to receive in positive healing energies. So
and keep
I think
your thoughts just really happy, and
it's difficult. You can't just look in the mirror and tell yourself everything's cool if you've got all this shadow stuff and negative feelings and past stuff circulating around you. You've got to work on that stuff first.
And it can come through past lives as well.
Absolutely. So I'm a past life practitioner as well. I was taught by Leonard Howell, who's a shamanic practitioner, and basically, it's helped me tremendously to work through past life issues that I've had. It's helped to show me why I had certain challenges with my previous partners, because I had past lives with them as well.
That's why
and
you get into those relationships.
Exactly. And
to clear them up.
And it basically showed me different aspects of my personality that I wasn't really aware of consciously, because I then learned about my past aspects. And even if you don't believe in past lives, if you understand that we have different aspects of our persona in our psychology, then doing the past life work actually helps work through that, so that we better understand ourselves. And I think that for a lot of people who are highly sensitive and empathic, part of the journey is self-understanding and personal transformation. And it does end up being...
It's hard work, and you need to be brave. And you're worth it.
And like I was saying before, if you're highly emotional, that does not mean you're weak. It means you're strong. And a lot of times, if you have that kind of energy, you have a strong energy that attracts many different types of situations into your life. Some of them can be very difficult situations, but I believe that
for a reason.
Exactly, the universe gives us exactly what we can handle at any given time. It might feel intolerable, at the time that we're going through it, but later on, when we reflect back, hopefully, if we're wise, we can use those difficult situations to learn, to have to basically evolve, for our spirits to evolve, and for us to work through those difficult situations. It also helps us if we do go down the path as a healer or a caretaker or something, we can better assist others on their journey as well.
Yeah.
Something else just came to mind as well for empaths that I wanted to share. Because we are so attuned to other people's feelings, there can be issues with boundaries as well, because we tend to prioritize other people's feelings over our own feelings, because we've been taught that we're too sensitive to emotional and that other people's feelings are more important. We can kind of develop caretaker type personalities, like where we're very nurturing towards others. But I want to just emphasize that it's really important for us, if we are a caretaker, to put our own self-care and nurturing ourselves first, and then also have really clear boundaries so that your emotions are just as important as someone else's emotions, and don't compromise yourself for somebody else just because you feel their emotions so acutely, which I get, I do, you know. Just because you feel someone else so acutely, it doesn't mean that they should be your focus, that they should be your project or something like that. Do not try to fix other people, okay? If they come to you willingly and they want your help, great. Help them out as much as you can. But if it's someone in your life that you're close to, like a partner or a family member, and they don't want to change, just keep telling yourself, it's their journey. This is their journey. This is my journey. And understand that there are different boundaries between different people. And it's important to, if someone becomes reliant on you and they're expecting a lot from you because you've been overgiving, set your boundaries and let them know that you need time for your own self-care, for your own personal development, and whatever it is that you need is just as important.
Exactly. No is a complete sentence.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's just so much I could say on this. I mean,
I know.
I feel like I'm going to miss something because I've basically been this way my whole life, and I just want to share as much as I possibly can for people out there. One of the things I did want to mention too, for those of you who are clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, so that basically means, for those of you who don't know, these are different psychic or intuitive aspects. So clairvoyant is exactly, So clairvoyant is when you see things, when you have visions and so on. Clairaudient is when you hear things. Clairsentient is when you feel things more in your body, in your gut, and so on. I myself am more clairsentient. So for those of you who are clairsentient and you feel things deeply in your body, it may cause digestive issues. It may cause you to go more often and things like that. Just be aware that these are also messages coming in intuitively, and usually it's because of nerves. Again, it's all goes back to the nervous system. The nervous system gets us all fired up, but it's usually for a reason. So pay attention to what's going on there. For those of you who are clairvoyant, if you see colors or images or other beings or things like that, just know that it's okay. You're not alone. There are lots of people who do experience this. You're not crazy just because you see those things.
A lot of people are opening up.
A lot of people are opening up, and you can open up your third eye, your pineal gland, and I actually teach psychic development level 1 and 2. If this is something you're interested in, I do casual classes for beginners, and then I do classes for people who want to become certified as a psychic. You can develop these things. But if you're seeing things that you don't like, because sometimes you might see some negative things or beings that scare you.
Yeah, when your light is on, there's a lot of different things that can be attractive.
It can be interesting, for sure. So if you have this and it's bothering you or it's upsetting you, I have a couple pointers. So if you see some spirits or some beings or something and it's freaking you out, especially if it's like late at night, early in the morning, or like if you're trying to take a shower or something, then you want to send them a clear message. I don't want to talk to you between these hours and these hours, okay? So not early in the morning, not late at night. If, if you can negotiate and say, okay, well, if you want to talk to me in the afternoon, I'm available, that's fine. Or if it's something or someone that you really don't want to see, then just say, go away, okay? Whatever you're seeing is not more powerful than you are, okay? We're all very powerful beings, and we are just as powerful, if not more powerful, than whatever those things are that we're seeing, and we can shut it off at any given time. You don't have to see those things if you don't want to. If you do want to explore it and you do want to see it, just tell them, come see me, but then also tell them, like, okay, so just approach me when it's a good time for me, and
don't scare me,
don't freak me out, don't get too excited. You know, you can actually set boundaries with these things so that it feels safe for you. And I don't want you to do anything that you don't feel safe doing. No. I don't want you to be doing spiritual releases or dealing with hauntings or possessions or something like that if you're not trained in those things. Because if you are seeing spirits and you're seeing different things, you need training to better cope with things like that, and you need proper protection.
Someone that knows what they're doing and has done it before, and don't go it alone.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to be alone. There's lots of us intuitive people out there. Clairaudience is when you hear things. So a lot of people will start out, they'll hear ringing in their ears. So if you hear ringing sometimes, or if you hear strange things or messages coming in, again, don't freak out. It happens to a lot of us. And if you hear the ringing, obviously it's not super helpful, because it's like, okay, my ears are ringing, great. Like, what are you trying to tell me? So basically what you want to do is stop, whether you're getting images, sounds, or feelings. Stop, take a moment, breathe, and then just ask for the messages to come in more clearly. So I just say, okay, please just tell me what you want to try and say, and then you just clear your mind and allow that to come in. So it's a little more coherent.
Okay, cool.
Little pointer there. Yeah. Just
thanks, Chloe.
For your general, everyday intuitive experiences.
Some people are going, what?
Maybe not everybody experiences that, but that I just wanted to point that out for those of you who are starting on that path and you're opening up your intuitive, sensitive nature a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So again, if you guys are interested in developing your intuitive gifts a little bit more, I offer life coaching and healing work to help you on your path with that journey. I now offer workshops and courses. I have a retreat coming up for highly sensitive people and empaths next summer, 2018. And I have life coaching programs right now to help you if you are wanting to heal your heart, if you're suffering from depression, or if you're highly sensitive, whatever it might be that you're struggling with. My specialty is working with healing emotions, healing and clearing emotions, and giving you practical advice to help you to basically live the life that you want to live.
That you deserve.
Yeah, that's my training as a life coach. And then I incorporate in that profound healing work, like the emotional freedom technique, Reiki healing, and I offer crystal healing and massage, and I teach how to work with crystals as well. Crystals are wonderful as well if you're highly sensitive. You can have them on your body, you can keep them with you, because they help to absorb some of that negative energy that's coming at you, and they help protect you as well.
Yeah, so. And the ones that you're generally attracted to are the ones that you could be working with.
Exactly, yeah. So those are the ones you want to work with. Again, working with your intuition to pick those out. So you can find me on chloeulis.com for the life coaching work, and we'll put the link below if life coaching and achieving specific goals in your life is something that you're looking for. For my healing work, you can reach me at erliareikimassage.com, and we'll also put the link there for you. As I said, if you are highly sensitive, or if you know someone close to you that's highly sensitive, please have them watch this video.
Yeah.
I hope that it helps you. Please feel free to ask more questions to me anytime. I also offer free consultations over the phone if you want to give me a call or send me an email. I can do a quick consultation that way, and we can find out if my services might be right for you.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Lynda.
Okay.